Thank you so much for tuning in to P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationships. I'm Pat Renfro, and I've decided to do a mini series on how to develop a healthy romantic relationship. So I hope you'll plan on tuning in to my shorts where I'll break it down one at a time until I go through all 12 and just give you something to think about, because I'm recognizing that we put a bad rap on young people and said they're not interested in marriage. But what they're not interested in is failed relationships. But there's got to be a way to educate and enlighten people. And we're the more experienced, more mature people that can tell young people what to think about. Because if nobody tells you, you don't know. I've had this crush on trying to reach young people so that I could help you avoid many of the pitfalls of your earlier generations. So I'm going to be purposely and intentionally targeting what you're interested in, what you care about, so that I can help you really use emotional intelligence to make the right selection for your partner. We assume that what we really need is to like each other, to be attracted to each other, to have a reasonable amount of commonalities, and to be able to get along well. Those are some very basic things, and yes, they do help the process begin. But I'm telling you what, if you don't look a little deeper than that superficial mat that you've put together, you have some very hard years ahead of you. And even though at any given time you can walk away, you really never truly and fully walk away, because your souls become intertwined, and then you're stuck with the grief of loss, the grief of separation, the grief of if there were children involved in the union and now they've got to let go of the parents on a certain level. So I am really on a mission to help people avoid that horrible, painful challenge and to begin to answer your questions. And I invite you to make comments that ask questions or that reestablish positions. There were 4 areas that Harvard's research yielded that explained what young people were interested in learning about romantic relationships. And I thought the list was pretty interesting, and it makes sense. How to begin a healthy romantic relationship. The next one is how to develop a mature relationship. The third one was how to avoid getting hurt in a relationship. And finally, how to deal with breakups, which unfortunately, in most of our cases in this world, you don't get out until you've experienced a breakup. So I want to start unpacking those on this channel. I've been talking about all things relationships very intentionally because I've thought about it for a long time. And what I realized is that when you don't know who you are, that's the origin of pain and hurt and disappointment, because you're letting your emotions, your feelings guide your decision about spending the rest of your life with another person. And that's no easy juncture. If you were to interview twins, even though they have a lot in common, you would probably find out what their differences are and how they've had to work through those over the years to compensate, to engage, to allow the differences. Differences are painful. Differences are challenging. And so you're going to have differences. Those are inevitable. But what you want to do is make sure you understand how to get into a healthy, mature relationship, not a superficial relationship, how to make the right decision the first time, how to avoid getting hurt, and finally, when you do get hurt, how to bounce back and not rebound and make other mistakes and keep going into the same cycle. So this is not a huge relationship information dump today, more so just to frame for you where I'm going to be going and encouraging you, if you want to have those 4 questions answered, tune in. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in to P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationships. Have a great day. See you next week. Bye.